So welcome guys, 29th of December. I can hardly believe we are approaching the end of the year. It's literally gone just like that. And I know for some of you guys here, you've been in the team a little while. For some of you, you're newer to the team. And so I thought for everybody, newer coaches, more seasoned coaches, what we would talk about today is how to go rolling into 2020 with fire in your backside. And so I thought what I would do is just share some things that I've been doing, that I've been calling myself out on, that I've been doing to strategize and plan for my 2020. Because I think sometimes, as I will often say on these calls, because we're entrepreneurs and because we lead our own businesses in our own homes, it can be really, really easy to just lack self-discipline, think it doesn't really matter, it's a festive season, like I'll get to it. But the point is that if you have that kind of attitude and approach, which I know is pretty normal, you're not going to go roaring into 2020. And it's really, really important for you, whether or not you've been in the business a month, 2 months, or a year. Obviously, if you've got a year, you've got a lot more time to reflect on, to really look at what worked well for you in 2019. You can you can apply that to your coach business, and you can also apply that to your personal life, your goals and visions with your own careers. For a lot of you, you have another job, you work full time. So think about what went well for you this year, okay? And you can include your personal life, because of course that's really important. If you want to see success in this business, your personal life, your career, where you live, it's all really important. That is what's going to really help propel you, whether or not you want to do this business full-time, part-time, or you're just finding your feet. So really think about that, okay? And then think about what didn't work so well. And I think, for you guys who've been in the team for a little while, it's going to be really, really important for you to look at your months, look at where you saw success in your business. When were you flying? And look back and work out what it is you were doing at that point that you were flying, because that's certainly something that I've been looking at. We all have ups and downs. I've had a lot of going on in my personal life, as we all do at times in the year. It's inevitable. Look at the times when you were flying and look at what you were doing and call yourself out on your BS, okay? So when you were doing really well, whether or not you've been in the business a month, 2 months, or a year, what were you doing? What attitude did you have, and how were you approaching your business? I suspect that your answer to that will be, I believed in myself. I didn't worry about what could go wrong, and I was just going for it. And I was so busy going for it that I didn't have time to think about, what if it doesn't work out? What if I'm a failure? What if somebody else doesn't like what I'm doing? What if I get embarrassed because I'm on? Okay, so a lot of the time when you reflect on your business and you think about the times where you've done well, you haven't even had time to think about any of those things. And the biggest danger we have when we're entrepreneurs working in our own space is we get in our own head, okay? And so becoming really, really aware of when you're getting in your head and when you're feeling like it's really hard or when it's really tough, you need to learn to call yourself out, because your coach, your upline, whether it's me, whether it's somebody else here, they can't get in your head. They can't work out when that's going on. We can do our best to try, but ultimately your success in this business comes down to your mindset. And I can absolutely promise you that every single person on this call has absolutely everything it takes to be unbelievably successful in this business. But it all comes down to your mindset, okay? So, I'm going to use Donna as an example. Donna might want to interject. Donna's had ups and downs this year. We all have. We're all human. Nobody's perfect. That's just the way that it works and it goes. And there have been times in Donna's business where I'm sure she will agree with me, where she's had doubts and she's wondered whether she can actually do this. And that's probably affected her performance, okay? And you look at where Donna is right now as an example. She's a diamond coach. She's going for 2-star. She doesn't have time to worry or think about what if it doesn't work out. What if? She is so busy, focused on, laser focused on what her vision is, what her goals are, that nothing, no one, and absolutely nothing as well is going to get in the way of that happening. And she's so busy, quite frankly, that she doesn't have time to think about it. So I was thinking about this myself, actually, because, we're all human. I don't have the position that Donna does because I do this full time. I do it 6 hours a day because my son's at preschool only 4 days a week. And actually, something that I have to call myself out on is sometimes I get in my own head because I don't fill every single pocket of my day. I think I do, but I'm calling myself out on some of my own BS. So when you're looking at people who you think are doing amazingly, or, you know, there's somebody to kind of roll yourself on, whoever that might be, just know that they're going to have their own blocks and their own mindset issues that they have to overcome. And it is your job as CEO of your own business, whether or not you're quite new to this business or you're more seasoned, to call yourself out on that. And honestly, the quicker that you can learn to call yourself out on that, the better. So, you know, Elaine's just put in here, the biggest thing for me is self-belief. And I think that is probably the number one thing that is going to hold you back, guys. Self-belief, okay? So if you know, no matter what your limiting factor is, no matter what it is that's held you back from seeing that success, you should be able to recognize what that is, okay? And when you recognize that what that is, it is your job, not your coach's job, not my job, to go out and find that resource that overcomes the issue or the mindset blocks that you have. It's not really an issue. We're all human, right? We all have mindset blocks. Mine's often self-belief, believe it or not. And at the moment, I'm listening to You're a Badass by Jen Sincero. And I've listened to that book probably 8 times. It's probably my 8th time going through it. And what's really interesting is that it doesn't matter how experienced you are, you're always going to come back to certain resources that work well for you. So what works well for you might not work well for me or for someone else on this team, but research it, look into it, be the CEO of your own business, because honestly, I can promise you, when you start to step into your own power and you kind of don't expect anything of your coach or anyone else in the team, and you take ownership, that's when you're going to see your success. And I just want to say, like, we have an amazing team here. We're really, really lucky. And I hope you guys feel that way, that you have all of this to tap into. There are some coaches that come into this business, they don't even have a team, okay? And they see success. Now, why do they see success? Because they take ownership, okay? They're not spoon-fed. They really want it, okay? And I'm not saying that's natural or normal when you come into this business, because honestly, for me, that wasn't the case. Like, I didn't really know what I wanted from it. I came into the business literally just wanting to get fit and healthy, and it took me a while to figure it out, okay? So that's also okay. But the quicker that you can start to level up and call yourself out on your own BS without somebody else having to do it, and start to really try to take a top-down approach to who you are, which isn't easy. Like, I was never good at doing that, but I'm becoming better and better. The quicker you're going to see that success. And honestly, that is the difference between not seeing success and seeing success. The business activity tracker is obviously crucial. You need to do that every day. You need to complete it every day. And if we've got people here who aren't completing it every day, I know the festive season can be difficult, then that's where you need to start. If you're telling me that it's hard and it's difficult and it's not working, are you doing everything on that sheet? Honestly, are you all in? Or are you on the fence? That's the other thing. And there's a quote, I can't remember which book it's from, but they say, if you've got a backdoor option, if you've got an option that gives you the ability to walk out of this, then you're not all in. And I'm not saying for a minute that that doesn't mean that you haven't got something else going on in your life in terms of your career. You know, I know a lot of us, we've got, you know, different qualifications. We've got Donna, for example, who's done the PT, fitness instructor. She's working full time as well. But you need to have an understanding of what you want from this business, because I don't want for anyone on this call to be coming into these calls to be making this time for their business and to then not see success. Because what that is, guys, is self-sabotage. You're coming in, you're doing all of this stuff, and you're not doing the stuff on the tracker. And I'll be honest, if you're not doing the stuff on the tracker, you shouldn't be on this call, because the tracker is so incredibly important. This call is important, but you need to be doing that stuff, because that's literally written and devised by the top coaches in the network. And so, you know, I haven't been able to operate my business activity tracker every day over the past couple of weeks. And I know Kelly's had the same problem, and I think Imogen has, because Instagram blocked us, which is obviously something that is control the controllable, right? So we've been doing all that we can, and that's impacted my business without doubt, okay? So that comes in conjunction with your mindset, but it does not come before your mindset. There's no use to you trying to complete all of that stuff if you're not working on your mindset first, or working on it every single day. Like, I don't want to hear anyone say, I haven't done PD for like a few days, I don't know why I'm not seeing success. Like, no matter what, even if it was 5 minutes over the Christmas period, I was listening. Let me just see what you guys are saying. Yeah. And if you're not doing the bat daily, guys, there's a reason why you're not doing it. So the reason why is going to be that you're probably not clear on your goals. You're probably not clear what you want from the Beachbody business and how it's going to work for your life and what your vision is with Beachbody, whether or not that's doing Beachbody full time eventually, or whether it's just doing it on the side. But if you're not doing it every day, it's because you've not got that motivation. And the motivation is going to come from having a crystal clear vision. And by crystal clear, I mean, you know where you're going, where you want to live, what you're going to do with that income, what that means for your family's life, what school, if you've got kids that you're going to send them to, like maybe where you're going to have your holiday home if you don't have kids, you know, things like that, what it looks like, which town is it in, what beach is it on, you know, that kind of stuff. You know, for me, I want a holiday home, that's what's on there. I know that's obviously not going to float everyone's boat. It might be that you, I don't know, like you want to pay off all of your debt, but unless you get clear on that, guys, you're not going to do the bat. Okay. So it's no use going into 2020 with massive gaps, because what you're going to see is you're going to put in the work. And yes, you know, everyone on this call puts consistent work in daily, but unless you are doing everything that you need to do, plugging those holes in your vision, plugging those holes in the bat, and working out what your mindset blocks are, it's not going to work. And I just want to be honest and blunt, because I know that that's what I needed when I was about 2-3 months into the business, and I was like, I'm doing everything, I don't know what's going on. And until I actually learned to flip those switches in my brain, which took me a while because I didn't really have a coach pointing that out to me, that was when I literally propelled myself and I went flying, because I knew what I was doing. I knew where I was going. Nothing and no one was going to stop me, no matter what happened in my life. And that's where you want to be with this business. As I say, like whether or not you're going to go full-time, part-time, whatever it is right now, and just know and recognize that your vision is going to change over the passage of time. So get that vision board done. I've done a call on that. I'm not going to go into the detail of it, but get it done. And if you haven't got it done, get it done. And update it as you go. Your emotions, your feelings, your connection to that energy is going to change through the year. And if you're not connecting with that vision, you're not going to produce the results that you want with the business. Okay. So where are you strong? What are your strong points? How are you going to maximize that moving into 2020? Because each and every single person here is going to have different strengths and weaknesses, okay? And I really want you to think about what those are. And if you're not sure what they are, perhaps ask somebody else on the team or even your partner, whomever you feel most comfortable asking, who's going to give you an honest, objective view of who you are and where you are, you know, understanding the business to a certain degree, of course. Get them to call you out on that if you're really unsure, because without that, it's really hard to work out where you're going to go. Where are your weak spots? Okay. The stuff we don't do is usually our weak spots. So if you're not inviting or you're not inviting enough, that's probably your weak spot. And if you're not sure how to invite, there's scripts in the team page. There are the unbelievable wealth, resource, and dictionary of YouTube that you have. If you type in a top coach's name, inviting YouTube, Beachbody coach, you are going to get the most unbelievable amount of resources that you can probably share with us. And that's what I would really love to see in 2020. You guys being those leaders, you guys sharing those resources so that everybody can use it. I don't want to be the only leader in the team. I want other leaders here, right? I want you guys to be your own leaders, your own CEOs. I want you to have that confidence. 1 second, Elaine. There are times that I want to give up in the past, but I want to, so we want this, and plus I'm doing it. Yeah, so it's and be really conscious of how you talk to yourself. And I know, like, some of them were the girls who've been on my team for a bit longer will be bored of me saying this, but when you say you want something, it's because there's lack. Okay, so say I will. So say I will. Make I want like not allowed in your vocab. Say I will, I can, I am. Not I need, I want. Those kind of words is because we're coming from a mindset of lack and we're letting ourselves off the hook. So yeah, just be aware of that. I'm just looking at my notes. What are your objectives for 2020? Okay. Be really serious. Treat this like a 6 or 7 figure business, because that is the potential of what this is. And use this as an opportunity to imagine you're in a corporate environment. Imagine that your boss has said to you, what's the goals for your role in 2020? You wouldn't just go in there with a piece of paper and 3 lines. You would go in there probably with a specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timed goal. Okay. If you haven't got specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timed goals in your business plan, they don't have to take you all day, but they do need to be time specific, They do need to be measurable, because obviously if you don't achieve the objective, you need to be able to call yourself out, and they need to be achievable. And if you're unsure about what's achievable for you, of course, we've got some girls that are newer, reach out to your coach, because we've been there. We know what's been achievable at that point in the business. But if you look up SMART goals, it's all in there. If you didn't achieve what you wanted, what are you going to double down on? Okay, so there's an age-old saying, and I kind of hate this saying because it calls me out on my crap as well. If we do the same stuff over and over again and expect a different result, it's not going to happen. Okay, so if you are, and this is probably for the more seasoned coaches in our team, like if you've been in the team a little while and you're doing the same stuff over and over again and you're expecting a different outcome, it's not going to happen. So stop wasting your time. But then recognize and work out where it is that you're maybe losing people, where it is that you feel that you lack that strength, and work on that or change it up. Don't change up 5 things at a time, because I'll tell you, if you change up 5 things at a time, you won't be able to work out which one worked. So change 1 thing at a time. But sit down and work out where you're losing people, where they're falling through the holes. We've got so many comments on here. I'm just trying to keep up. Yeah, Donna, I think working out what your goals are, then what you need to do to get there, and then working out what you need training wise, support wise to get there, you need, you need an accountability partner. Do you need a daily back check, or are you self-motivated to do it yourself? I love that, Donna, because I think that's so important. There's people in this team who are going to be naturally self-motivated who aren't going to need it, okay? There are going to be people in this team who need it. There are going to be people that are put in a pod and actually it's going to make them run the other way. Like Donna, she doesn't need that. She doesn't need accountability. She's her own boss. She cracks on with it. I was like that in my corporate job. If somebody held a gun to my head, I'd run the other way and I'd quit the job because I hated it. Some people really need it, okay? So if you're that person that needs accountability, you need a daily back check-in, then let your upline know, because what we can do is we can put pods together where you're all running together, and that works really well for some people and not so well for others. So think about where you perform well and when you performed well, whether it's this business or whether it's in your other job, what makes you perform well, what drives you, okay? Because that's really important, and that's really important for your coach to know so that we can help you achieve that objective. Donna, thank you so much for that. That's unbelievably useful. Yeah, so I'm just going to give an example. So for me, I've recognized in my business that promoted posts aren't working as well. Okay. So what I'm doing, and actually I think this is a really good step for me, but as I become more niche and I learn to recognize who my market is, who my avatar is, I am going to double down on my inviting. So I have decided that I'm going to commit to 50 invites a day. And I've done this before and failed, but I am not going to fail. So if anybody else wants to do that with me, wants an accountability partner to do it with, let me know. If you don't, fine. But that, for example, is what I'm doubling down on. That's going to change into next year. That means that I am going to be connecting with like-minded women more, because I'm going to be actively doing the invites. I'm going to do promoted posts, but I'm not going to rely so heavily on that. I'm going to really focus on invites in 2020. Let me just look at what's being said here. I find polls on Insta stories don't work well for me. Okay, since you've mentioned that, Elaine, what I will say is, for the most part, people won't vote in your polls, but what you can do is recognize who's consistently watching your stories and then ask them if they're interested in what you've offered in the poll. That works really, really well. And certainly I've been doing that over the past couple of days with our sneak peek. People haven't been voting in the polls and they're like, yeah, great, I want to go in the sneak peek. And they haven't been voting, but I know they've been watching. So that's a really good way to tackle that one. And then I just want to say, like, your success is entirely up to you. If you have had that mindset that it happens to that person because they're X or Y or Z, or it happens to that person because, I don't know, something's different in their environment to you, you need to call yourself out on that, because every single one of you has as equal chance of seeing unbelievable success as the next. It just comes down to that dogged determination that comes from a clear vision and not letting yourself off the hook, okay? When the time gets hard, you need to be really clear on your visions, because the time will get hard. There are going to be really tough times in your business. The other day, I went into my Instagram and I'd got blocked from doing ads altogether. And I thought that that was going to be me done on ads for my Instagram. And do you know what? I didn't worry about it. I thought, if that's me done on ads forever in that Instagram, that's not going to define who I am. I am just going to change up the way that I work. Okay. So we have tricky things that happen in our lives, in our personal lives, that are going to throw us off. We're going to have people that don't back us, that we're going to have people that don't believe in what we're doing. But if you don't believe in you and you're not clear on actually, I can do this, you will quit. You will back out the door and you will run the other way. So you need to work out what that is and how and why you are going to crush it. So that comes down to PD and being clear on your vision. Oh, she's gone. Tiff's gone. I didn't see that. So are you all in or are you on the fence? Question, write it down. You'll know the answer. And if you're on the fence, why are you on the fence? And what are you going to do? And what is it you don't believe in this business that you need to believe in order to see success? And I would say 9 times out of 10, the reason why people aren't all in is because they haven't seen results. They don't believe in this for themselves. And therefore they're trying to help other people and they haven't seen the results for themselves. So make sure you get to super weekends. That is a non-negotiable. It really should be. For all of you guys that are making the time to turn up on this call, you should be getting to super weekends. You should be interacting with people from other teams, getting to know people. That is what really builds the excitement and really builds your belief in this business. I can promise you that. And it's really interesting. I was talking to Donna the other day about what flipped the switch in her business, what made her change, what made her really go for it. And she said the Marbella trip. Okay, super weekend obviously isn't the Marbella trip, but for me, the thing that's flipped the switch in my brain, where I ran from being just an emerald coach to diamond in about 3 weeks, was going to see Tina the musical in London. Carl Deichler was there. It was something I'd won. It was a one-day thing. I went to that, and the people there just really helped me see the vision. And I was like, damn, this is real. I'm going for it. And that is exactly what Donna said to me. She said there were women there on that trip working full-time, having zero time for Beachbody. Like, they were doing this very much with the small chunks of time they could find, and they were crushing it. And I said to myself, why not me? Okay, so you need to get to those super weekends. If you can't make them, you know, if you're in France, for example, at Imogen, make sure you're on the next one. I cannot tell you how much that is going to help you get clear on your vision and really help you understand Beachbody, the community, and what an amazing bunch of people we are, honestly. Like, for those of you guys that have been to Summit, there's very few coaches that I've met that I really think, God, you're a dick. Like, it's just a wonderful company. People genuinely want to help others, and it is awesome. So get to those events. Make it a non-negotiable. There is one on the 11th of January, 11th, 12th weekend. Make sure you've got it booked in. If you don't know where it is, go into your coach office, look up local ones near you. I'm not going to tell you where they are. You need to take that responsibility for yourself. Okay. And level up. What is it you need to do to level up? What is it? And if you don't know what that is, maybe get somebody to do an audit on your page. Ask me, ask whomever it is, ask one of your fellow, you know, friends, colleagues here. Ask them, right, give me an honest overview. What do I need to do? What do I need more of on my page? What is it I need to do? Because that will call you out on some of that stuff. And when it isn't working, what story are you telling yourself? What story do you tell yourself over and over again? Because that story is going to stop you seeing that success that that other person's seeing. Okay. If you've got a mindset block, likely it's going to take a bit of digging, but you're going to know what it is when you start to dig it out. And once you've dug it out, you want to make that, like, it's just not in your vocab. It's not allowed to pop into your head. Because if you keep telling yourself a story, that's self-sabotage. You're never going to see that success, all the while you're allowing it to run around your head. Vision boards I've shared, but what I did want to say is, please share your vision boards in the team page. Please, all of you, I don't care. Like, I love to see engagement in there. I'm going to share mine. You all share yours once you've done it. You don't want to hit 2020 without having your vision board done, because it's honestly going to make you feel a bit icky. Take messy action. It's my favorite thing in the world. I'm not a perfectionist by nature. I know some of us are, and that's very, you know, a lot more difficult for people who are perfectionists. But take messy action is my biggest tip I can give you, because when you're taking messy action, you don't have time to worry about it being perfect. And when it's not perfect, you learn from your mistakes, you move forward, and you learn how to do it better next time. And no matter how you work your business, are you doing the vitals every single day? Are you being proof of the product? Are you showing up for your workout? Are you doing your personal development? Are you recognizing people in the team if you don't have your own boot campers? Are you engaging? Are you showing that you're part of a team in your page or part of a boot camp? Are you showing that in your Instagram? And are you doing the BAT daily? I know I've covered that already. And And where do you lose time? This is the biggest danger of all. We go into social media, we end up on someone's stories, we're scrolling through. What's the point, guys? You're not being paid to scroll other people's stories. And if you're not seeing that success, you should not be allowing yourself to scroll people's stories. You should be doing the vitals, inviting. Inviting comes first, then allow yourself to scroll. Like, I honestly don't scroll. You guys know that in my team, that I don't spend a lot of time looking at people's pages unless I've got a one-on-one, and then I'll be looking at it, because I'm focusing on what you focus on, you produce more of. So inviting, following up, and helping people get started. And that's it. So 6:30. I know that was an awful lot of information. I hope you've written notes, and I hope it's fired you up, because I genuinely believe every single person here, we don't have anyone on this team who isn't highly intelligent and highly capable. It is all down to you. You have the most unbelievable opportunity to wipe the slate clean for 2020. So you need to decide right now whether or not you're going to get off the fence, or if you're going to go all in, because there's no point wasting your time if you're on the fence, and you need to work out why, if that's where you are. Yes, so a couple of reminders. Donna, thank you on that. Team Cup is in February, so if you haven't got your Team Cup team together, rally the troops, get together, message in the team page, ask other coaches you know. Team Cup, I won that with Jojo and Claire last year for the whole of the UK, and I had my most successful month. I think Jojo did too. That was the month Jojo went diamond. It's unbelievable. It's super fun. If you don't know what it is, look it up on the coach office. Summit, I am going to be locking down the accommodation for Summit by the end of January, Airbnb. So you need to really seriously think about whether or not you're coming. It should be a non-negotiable. If you're on this call and you're serious about your business, you need to be there. And bar is starting on the 3rd of January. Okay, so make sure you're talking about it in your stories if that's what you're doing. Make sure you've got a boot camp up and running. Every single person on this call should have a boot camp up and running, whether or not you're a week into the business or 3 months, because that's how you're going to see your initial success with boot campers. That's how you're going to build your confidence to then build with the coach opportunity. So are there any questions or comments or anything that you want clarifying? Just maybe put it in the chat or unmute yourself. No. Okay. No worries. Let's do a boomer. I'm sorry it's a bit of a rush call, but we are going into our sneak peek at 7. So if you've got any questions on what I said after this, please just message me. Like, that's what we're here for. Boomerang. And well done, guys, for showing up, can I just say. Like, this time of the year is super difficult. I know how it is. We're all over the place. We don't really know what day it is, and we're seeing family and friends. So well done, because this shows your commitment to your 2020. So don't take that faint-heartedly. Right. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Thank you, guys, and Happy New Year. See you in 2020. Bye.